Okay, so I guess this is another different sort of camera shot. So this was the first episode of AEW. So we'll do a quick rundown first of my thoughts on the season premiere of the longest running episodic TV show in the history of TV shows, Monday Night Raw. Dominic looks like he should be Samoa Joe's kid. Did a great job taking a beating from Lesnar. I'm waiting for Mike Kanellis and Rusev to become a team called My Two Cucks. Um, that ending felt like they had like a minute too long because everything felt really drawn out. I really hope that Bray just absolutely destroys Seth Rollins and just gets it over with. I think Seth's run currently has been horrible. Seeing him just like hide and cry is not good at all. But given the current state, I'm almost hoping that maybe after the Fiend wins the title, Becky Lynch and Bray Wyatt hook up. Just have a trifecta of beta males losing their women to alpha males, and just get it over with. So yeah, Raw was a mixed bag. Some good matches, some really bad segments. So very Heyman-esque. So AEW. We'll begin with the set. Opening pyro was okay. I will say I do like the fact that you've got the two different ramps to come through. I like that design. It's different. It does kind of have a pseudo impact zone feel to it, but it gives it a very unique look to it, especially with the two different monitors up at top. The Cody Rhodes Sammy match. I love Cody's style. Cody definitely does need someone better to work with. There were lots of just stutters and little blown spots here and there that just kind of felt kind of. The dive to the outside to hit Brandy felt really weird and off putting. But the match itself worked well. Again, this is your first big moment to put this out there, and you got some stutters. But I mean, you're a new company. You can get away with some of that. Having Cody win and then having Sammy like shake his hand like thank you, this was a good opportunity, and then we get our first of many post match beatdowns. This man was Jericho, prolonged beat. This is like the first half an hour is just this match and then the beatdown by Jericho, and Jericho cutting the promo as he's walking away. It was good that you actually have wrestling fans who want to cheer the good guy and then boo the bad guy, which is what you're supposed to be doing. So the heels felt like heels because they weren't trying to be cool. They were just being jerks. Continuing that trend, MJF took on Brandon Cutler. I love MJF's gimmick. I think it's great. He's very much this is what a modern era heel should be. If you don't have to worry about people jumping on social media and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna have your sponsors leave you alone and drop you because he hasn't offended me." It's his character. It's what he's supposed to do. He trounced a guy, so I was like, "Oh, good, a squash. Thank you for giving me a squash match." My first thought was, if these are all like 15, 20-minute long matches or 10 to 15-minute matches, like it drains. It's really hard to watch, you're watching TV. It's great when you're there live. For a house show, that's fantastic. For a weekly show, you really can't do that sort of stuff. So I'm glad they did a squash. Hyped up the tag matches, which were good. I mean, that's a good way to hype up the next week. I like the little vignettes they did to get characters over, and I should say performers over because they're not really characters. Hangman Page, Pac. Man, I still don't care at all for Hangman Page. Brutal match. I like the intensity for it. I like that they did like the faux ref bump, and then it was I boot you in the groin. Pac is playing a fantastic villain. He gets the victory. I'm like, okay, this establishes him as a good dominant force. The constant push of wins and losses matter here, which is easy to do when you've got less than 100 events in. It's pretty easy to be like, oh, this guy's 3-0. Okay, well, he's wrestled on 3 events. Then we get into I'll talk about the 6-man tag, and then I'll go back to the women's match. The Elite. I like watching Kenny Omega. The Young Bucks are always hit or miss. If they're just doing more of the spot fest sort of stuff, I don't dig them as much. When they throw out some of the ring psychology, they're incredibly good at it. This match, most of the psychology was Jericho being like, I'm not going to face Omega. I'm going to tag in when someone's beaten down. Classic heel work. I I like middle-aged, heel dad Jericho. It works. Santana and Ortiz, good tag team. Again, not something that makes me go, I have to watch these guys wrestle. They're okay. Then we get to continue our pattern of now we have another run-in. But it was Moxley and Omega. And I will pay money for this match. Give me a good Cody Rhodes match and these two guys and Jericho against somebody that I can care about. And you know what? I'll probably throw some money down. So currently, Full Gear, if that's where we get Moxley Omega and Jericho Rhodes, you know what? If that's not $50, I think I'll spring for that. I'll definitely spring for that. I really love the ring work of Cody Rhodes. I like what Jericho's doing now. I've had a great fascination for Moxley when he was Ambrose, and now that he's more unleashed, definitely worth watching. And I think I want to see how well he gels with someone like Omega. Omega has a very specific style, and I think him taking on a more voracious brawler will bring out a really good match. I'm thinking it's going to almost be closer to like the Jericho Omega match at Wrestle Kingdom. So of course he does a beatdown, takes him out. Not a DQ because this is your main event of your first event, so you need to relax the rules. Now going to a 3-on-1. The high-angled double arm DDT through the glass and wood coffee table spot looked great. I loved having Moxley be like, say something, like he's wanting him just like to talk trash to him some more. Thought it was good. I liked the way that it looked, like the impact. It was a smart move to do, and plus it's incredibly safe because Moxley is wearing a vest, and he's driving Omega's hair into a table. I mean it's a really great looking move. It will look beautiful for like the gifs people are gonna do with these, and it's incredibly safe, but it looks ridiculously brutal. So of course Jericho's team gets victory because it's the 3-on-2 handicap match, and one of them is your champion, which then makes Cody come down. And then, after a while, Sammy comes down, which then makes Dustin come down, which then leads to Jack Hager showing up. Formerly known as Jack Swagger. Beating people down. Like, all right, so you do a prolonged beatdown of the heels. Just, trash in the faces. That's a good way to end your first episode. It did get kind of formulaic when it seemed like almost every match where if the heel won, the heel won. If the heel lost, there was a beatdown angle afterwards to get their heat back. Okay. Then now we get to go to the Nyla Rose Rio match. Still not sold on Nyla Rose's overall ability. Nyla's got some good power moves, but you can tell Nyla's still green. Incredibly green. And again, Riho, I don't know where she gets her strength from, if she's eating senzu beans on the side or what. She tried to do a lot of power moves that I think she was probably going, okay, Nyla, assist me. I don't know how. And kind of botchy looking. But again, this will look great in GIF format. The senton off the apron to the chairs. You know what? It's brutal. The Avalanche Northern Lights, brutal. I really thought they were going to put the title on Nyla, just to be honest. Riho is a part-timer. Nyla was one of their first major signings. But they give it to Riho. Okay. Like, that's interesting. Specifically because I know that you've got the Britt Baker, B. Priestley feud going on, and that would make a really good number one contendership feud. And then if they wanted to, Britt Baker, Riho, be a good match. B. Priestley, Riho would be a good match. Like that works pretty well. But then of course after match, Nyla has to do her post match beatdown, which then brings out Kenny Omega. So overall, for a first episode, good. While I watch the next one, yeah. I'm going to give them 3 or 4 episodes before I kind of say, I'm gonna watch it every week, or I instead just find them on YouTube, keep up with what's going on, and then, if the pay per view sounds good, either find someone who wants to go halvesies or just watch it. But all in all, for a first time doing a live show of this nature, they did a pretty good job. Was I blown away? Not quite. With a name like Dynamite, I expected it to be more explosive, but this is definitely, the brutality is there, and kind of to put a pun, it's very raw wrestling. But overall, it was good.